Hello, 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 everybody. I am so freaking excited because it is day one of magnetic messaging and attracting your clients with authenticity. Dope. I literally, y'all, you have no idea. Like, I'm so freaking excited just for this whole entire week. I'm excited for this 3-day workshop. I am excited to just like throw epic, wonderful things at you. I'm excited to really give you guys like things that you can take action on right now and start to see a major difference in your business. So what I'm going to do is I am going to give everyone just a couple of minutes to hop on, say hi. Let me know where you're coming in from. Hi Kaylee, hi Katrina, yay! So glad you guys are here. So yeah, hop on, and if you're watching the replay, then definitely hashtag replay it. Still hop in, let me know. I definitely want to know who is here. And just, yeah, freaking excited. Let's see. So while we are waiting, I am making sure I have all of my stuff set up, ready to go. How is everyone's Monday? Um, y'all, it is Thanksgiving week. Like, hey, Lisa. Oh, Katrina. All right, nice, nice. Hey, Lori. Glad to see you. Welcome, welcome. Um, yeah, y'all, it's almost Thanksgiving, and I don't understand. I don't understand. I'm very confused. Before we know it, we're gonna wake up, and it's gonna be freaking Christmas. I will say this, and I don't know how many of you have done this as well, but I'm definitely someone who, I mean, like, hey, Penny, like 2020's been, well, 2020. And I typically am like really, really like it's my own rule, but like I'm strict on like when I set out my Christmas decorations and when I take them down. Typically, and I'm just telling this story just super quick while we wait for everyone to jump on. But so normally right now I would be in New York. I this would have been my 13th or 14th year. I work with an organization that has performers in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and so and we are it's called the Spirit of America Productions, and we are the only ones, in addition to Santa and the Radio City Rockettes, that have a permanent berth in the parade. And I've been just super fortunate to have been a part of that for so long. We have usually about 500 to 600 dancers, and then about 400 to 500 cheerleaders that are in the parade. Um, so normally that's where I would be, and we would be rehearsing all day and getting ready for our Monday night rehearsal down with NBC at Herald Square. And so there's a huge group of us. We are so missing. They're my New York family. They're my Thanksgiving family. Some of these people, it's the only time I get to see them. So um, definitely a little sad to be missing it, but being here with you guys makes it so much better. But yeah, so normally we take our Christmas decorations and I put them up as soon as I get back. I've started putting a couple up a little early because it's 2020 and I feel like we need joy. All right, I'm going to give it less than 60 seconds and we are going to freaking get rolling. This is going to be awesome. Let's see. I did make some notes because sometimes I forget stuff if I do not have my notes. All right. Well, I'm gonna get started. So if you just jumped on, tell us hi, tell us where you're coming from. Penny, 42 days to your birthday. Yes, that's awesome. Snow. All right, Lori, how much snow? A lot, a little. Is it like the fun snow where it's like sunny and you can go play in it? Or is it like it is here in Texas where it's, at least in central Texas, where it is dark and dreary and icy and slushy and we hate it. Okay, so let's get started. So to actually get started today, what I would love to do is I would love to start with a story. And the reason I want to start with a story, well, you know what? No, you're going to get it. You're totally going to get it when I tell you the story. So, and it's a personal story, not related to business at all, right? So, For those who don't know, and I won't go too crazy in depth with this, well, first of all, I am married. You might see my husband popping in here at some point, I'm not sure. But I was also married previously. And between being divorced and finding my new husband, right, and just the love of my life, um, dating sucks. I'm sorry, but it does, especially when you're in your 30s, like, because I'll be 40 next year, so I was in my mid 30s on top of it. And I was complaining, not, well, yeah, I guess I was complaining. One of my big things was always, that guys just can't handle me. Like, they can't handle me. I am too much, right? And I was talking to one of my best friends who lives in Arizona, and I was like, another like failed date or whatever. And it was like, they just can't handle me. And she finally, with all the love in the world, she was like, okay, I love you, but I need to tell you something or ask you something. She was like, you talk about, and if you hear dogs in the background, welcome to my zoo. She was like, you talk about all the time that these guys can't handle you. And she said, but love, you temper yourself down so much in the beginning because you're afraid they can't handle you, that when you finally start to open up or release or unleash, why are you surprised they can't handle it? Y'all, that hit me like a ton of freaking bricks because she was so right. I'm not giving them who I really am, so then when I am who I really am, of course they're confused or shocked or whatever, like, whoa, they should be, right? Okay, so what does that story have to do with anything? When I met my husband, we actually met at a convention in Baltimore. We both dance. I've danced most of my life, lots of partner dancing and solo dancing. And so there was a West Coast swing convention, and that's actually where we met. And we knew that like there was potentially something there. And really, and this is not like essentially, this is literally what I did when I realized, hey, this could potentially go somewhere, because I was so tired of, just to put it bluntly, fucking around. And I was like, okay, well, here is all my shit. Here's all of it. This is who I am. This is what I'm about. This is my life experience. This is all of it. Here you go. Do you want to hang out or not? And yes, I won't lie, that was super scary to do that. And it was also a tiny bit overwhelming for him because no one does that. To go step back and go, okay. But here was the beautiful piece, right? Everyone who asked how Andrew and I basically started like an old married couple in all the best ways. And the reason was because I was upfront and authentic and real from day one. There were no surprises. There were no hidden things. And not only did that just go, hey, here I am, right? And it allowed me to get to know me and fall in love with me for exactly who I was, but it created this safe space for him to do the same thing. Because I was being real and authentic, he felt that he could be too, right? That's literally how I met the absolute love of my life, the person that I know was destined just for me, right? So why am I telling you that? And what the hell does that have to do with anything else? You guys, it is in the beauty of your authenticity that you are able to do what you were born to do, be who you were born to be, and serve those you were born to serve. And so if you're not, for all your people going, this is who I am, not only are you not going to be able to serve them on your highest level, but you're not even going to attract the right people to you. Okay. Another super quick example is I love Jesus, but I cuss a little, sometimes a whole lot. And for a long time, I stayed away from using any form of profanity in social media because that's taboo and you don't do that and you might turn people off. Okay, well, I stopped doing that because what if you've been following me and you love my content and you hop on a live and I'm like, what's up, fuckers? You'd be like, whoa, she just called me a fucker? Like, so I have to show up as my real and authentic self, right? That's how I get all of you people, amazing people that I get to connect with. Yeah. So essentially what we're talking about on day one, right? Shouldn't be a shocker. We are talking about that authenticity and how that contributes and the importance of finding your brand voice, right? That brand voice. That, if you don't know what that is what people use to describe you, right? When you put out content, when you're on a live, when you have a course, when you, oh heck, whatever, right? How would people describe you? Are you cheerful? Are you optimistic? Are you condescending? Are you arrogant? Are you helpful? Like all those things, that's your brand voice, right? And so that's what we're talking about today. Now, I do want to give you a heads up, okay? When we talk about this is the only day in this like workshop training challenge where it gets to be all about you. Really, the majority of your brand and your business should not be about you at all, because your brand's not about you. It's about those people that you were born to serve, and it's about the transformation that you want to create for them. That's what it's about, right? But for today, it gets to be all about you, okay? So, let's talk about that. When we talk about your brand voice, and when we talk about finding that, okay, the reason that that is so crucial, and the reason that you need to know that inside and out, is because that is literally how you will connect with your Holy Grail clients. It's everything that you say, how you say it, how you talk about what you do, how you show up energetically, right? That's how we do all that. So if you grab a pen, piece of paper, open up a Google Doc, whatever floats your boat, right? Because we're going to go through some of those ways that you can start to, if you already feel like you know what your brand voice is, dope, right? And actually, do me a favor, throw up in the comments, right? Do you know your brand voice? Do you have no freaking idea? Or maybe this is the first time you've ever even heard the term brand voice. Yeah? So where are you at with that? You got it? You don't got it? You're not even sure what it is anymore? Throw that up in the comments for me so I can see where everybody is at. And I'm pulling up my notes so I do not get lost. All right. So while you guys are throwing that stuff up in the comments, let's talk about that, right? Like I said, get something to write with, because we want to talk about how to find that. It's a great thing to talk about it. And yeah, Stephanie, that sounds great, but what the hell do I do? Cool. So here are some things that you can think about, processes that you can go through to help you really identify what that brand voice is, right? So first thing, basic thing. How do you want people to feel when they engage with your brand? So someone's worked with you, they've invested in your service, in your product, whatever it is, right? And they've gone through that process. Okay, I know Kaylee, for example, she's in here, she's a photographer. So, Kaylee, the question would be is how do you want people to feel not only when they're photographs, but while they're working with you in those photographs and when they receive those? I know we have Lisa in here who is an SSDI, pretty much an expert. I know she might argue with me, but she is. And she helps her clients get through that Social Security disability process. How does she want her clients to feel after they've worked with her? Penny is a copywriter, a sales strategist, a launch strategist, same thing. When she's working with her clients, how do you want people to feel? Okay. You also need to be asking yourself, okay, like the most basic of questions. What the heck do I do? What do you do? Right? It's like that little I help statement, right? If you have that, I would love to see you throw that up in the comments as well. But if you don't have that, that's a great place to start. Like, what do? You help who to get what, right? So getting that is just, that again, that's foundational. That's step one, right? You got to know who you do, what you do, and who you're talking to, okay? So when you start thinking about how you want your customers to feel, then the next thing that I want you to think about is, okay, cool. If I were going to attach 3 words to my brand, what 3 words would I want those to be? Think about what pops up into your head. Do you want to, for me, one of the things that I know I always want to be, even when I didn't have quite the right word for it, is I'm going to keep it real. Yeah, I want people to know when they sit down with me that they're going to get it straight, no chaser. This is what it is, right? And so that's something to think about is, and I'm sorry, I am browsing my notes because I want to make sure I don't get too off topic, right? So yeah, thinking about what 3 brand words you would use to describe your brand, how you want your customers to feel, right? Think about your content that you post. What's the purpose of your content? Is it just to get sales? Sorry, excuse me. Phineas, stop it. My dog licks a lot. Anyway, when you put out your content, what's the purpose of your content? Is it just to get sales? Because if it's just to get sales, I have some bad news for you. Right? That's really not gonna, that's not gonna work. Okay? Is it to serve someone? Is it to get them to a place of awareness? Is it to give them a strategy? What's the purpose in you putting out your content? Yeah, what are you trying to do with that? One of the things that I love to do is to tell people to go and take a look. Take a look at your posts from your last couple of weeks and scan through them, right? Do they all feel the same? Do they have the same vibe? What tone of voice would you assign to those posts if they weren't your posts and you were reading them for the first time? Yeah? Cool. So, back to getting into that brand voice. So, you've thought about how you want your customers to feel. Okay? You've thought about what 3 words you would love to associate with your brand. Here's another thing. Think about their other similar brands. Similar brands that do what you do or part of what you do. What do they sound like? And most importantly, how do you want to differentiate from them? Right? Because that right there, that differentiation, that's such a major key when we're positioning ourselves and we present ourselves. Because that differentiation, that is the difference between your Holy Grail client and not your Holy Grail client, right? So if you think about certain brands, and whether if you're a coach, if you are a strategist, if you're a photographer, whatever you are, what do those other brands sound and feel like? And not from a judgmental or negative perspective. Just, I mean, even brands that you love and adore. What do they sound like? What do they feel like? What parts of those resonate with you and what parts of those make you go, I mean, this is awesome, but I kind of want to do this, right? Because these are all key elements leading up to your brand voice and the authenticity of your brand. And your brand really is its own personality. Yes, there are parts of you in there for sure, but it starts to lead you into who is this brand going to be. And once you know who it is, you have a better idea of who it is for and who it's not for, right? Something I want to throw in as well. We're going to circle back to that authenticity piece just a little bit. Do you know what your superpowers are? Do you know what they are? Okay, because that right there is massive. I want you to not only know what your superpowers are, but to embrace them and to speak about them proudly, to shout them from the rooftops. If you have no idea what your superpowers are, I've got a couple of things for you that can help. Yeah, a couple tools. First thing is I want you to think about, and you can sit down and make a list of all the things that you love to do. And I mean, I don't mean hey, you like it. I mean, it brings your heart and your soul life and light. Right? So to make a list of those things. And then next to that, make a list of things that you're a badass at. Be honest. Be real. Don't be afraid to brag on yourself a little bit. Every single one of you was given such a unique set of talents and skills and abilities and passions, and they were given to you for a reason. So for me, I know that one of my superpowers is teaching. I know that, right? I also know that authenticity happens to be one of mine. I know that empathy is one of mine. These are things that I'm really naturally I'm good at. They're my zone of genius. So once you have your list of things that you freaking love and are passionate about doing, and you have a list of things that you're amazing at, I want you to start looking at where those lists overlap, where they can like cross-pollinate, or where they just straight up match up. Yeah? Because if you love serving others, and one of your superpowers is teaching, that's an area, I mean, that's where the magic happens, right? This is somewhere where I can use a superpower, I can use a zone of genius, and use it to do something that I am obsessed with doing, a passion that's on my heart. Okay? If you love helping people see the beauty in themselves, and one of your superpowers is photography, it's talking to you, Kaylee, then this is how Kaylee has built her whole amazing brand. She is a photographer that aims to get just the raw and authentic, beautiful parts of you for you to be able to see them. And she doesn't do a lot of editing because that's not who you are. Like, she does like photographer editing, but she's not going to come in and like get rid of a chin or smooth out if you have lines or like, you know, make you lose 50 pounds. Like, she's not going to do any of that. Right? So that's one way that you can start to get to your superpowers and identify those, or even just kind of audit the ones you think you have. Another thing that you can do, and this is actually one of my favorite things, okay? Send an email or a message or whatever to at least 10, 20 would be better, somewhere between 10 and 20 people. And when I say people, I mean people that know you, that know, not just like, you know, acquaintances, people that really, really know you. Yeah. They know all of you, or as much of you as you've been willing to show. And you want to ask them, not, hey, what are my strengths? Because that can actually be kind of, they'll deliver some strengths to you, but that's actually not what we want to know. We can phrase that question a lot better. The way we want to phrase that question is, hey, what is it that you always come to me for? What is it that you think you or someone else would pay me to do? What am I known for? Phrase it in that lens, right? Send that out to people that know you and that are going to be honest with you. When those responses start coming in, and just, you know, hey, I'm working on my own brand. I'm working on some things for myself, and I would love your help. Tell me, what do you see that I'm known for? What do you come to me for? What do other people pay me to do? And start kind of cataloging those responses, and you absolutely will see a pattern. You 100% will see that. For me, the two biggest ones that popped up when I did this, and I asked about 20, 22 people, almost everyone said either empathy or honesty. And then there were tons of others, right? But you're going to see a trend emerge. And I also think that's just a beautiful gift to give yourself, because you're going to be just blown away by what people come back with. And they're probably going to say some things that you didn't even expect them to say. And I just, yeah, it's a really amazing, like, exciting. I'm sorry, give me 2 seconds. Andrew, yeah, please keep him in there with you. Okay. Sorry, I noticed that I'm getting a little bit distracted by Captain Licky Pants over here. So I apologize. I did not want to be distracted anymore. And he was probably distracting for y'all. So my apologies. Normally I let the zoo kind of run and rampant and do its deal. Because that's, talk about authenticity. That's part of my authentic brand. But right now it's too much. I can't take it. Right? Cool. So now you have some exercises, some tools that you can use to get into some authenticity. Right? And your superpowers. And then I've also started to give you a couple tools to think about that brand voice. Yeah? Let me know. Are you with me? Are you not with me? Talk to me. And you know what? Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so stupid. I've been sitting here going, why is no one commenting? It didn't scroll down. So give me 2 freaking seconds. I was so bummed out because no one was commenting or engaging. And I was like, are they asleep? Are they here? You're commenting. I just didn't fucking see them. So hang on. Lori, I am so sorry that your snow is gross and cold. And Ontario yeah, I'm sure it is cold. Katrina, not looking forward to oh girl, dating after the divorce is over. You know what? Keep your high ass standards. Keep your high ass standards, okay? And you know what? I say it's obnoxious. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. And I think it makes it so much fucking easier when you just decide to be you. You gonna turn some people off? Bye. Not your people. Why waste your time? And I love that Lisa said the same thing. Keep those standards high. Yes, yes, and amen. Oh, I'm so sorry, Rachel, but we actually started a couple minutes. Like, I let people come in, so you didn't miss too terribly much, but you can always go back and check it after we're done here. Penny, I love people who curse. Yeah, no, it's just part of who I am. And Lisa, thank you so much. That Lisa said, authenticity is what attracted her, that's what attracts her to real people. And I think that's important to note, right? I think it's important to note that when we think about it, we are all attracted to real people. We are attracted to people who are not afraid to show their humanity, that they made a mistake, that they didn't notice the entire stream of comments rolling on their live, right? Like, that's crazy just that I didn't do that. But I'm not going to hide it from you. We want real people. Let's see. I love that I'm seeing that people have an idea. When I know that's when I ask, like, do you know what those words would be? Do you know what your brand voice is? Do you have an idea? And people are like, I have an idea. I also really want to point out that I love how many people are like, you know what? I want more focus, or mine's evolving. You guys, that right there is huge, because this whole entire process, right? Branding, authenticity, what you do, your business, that's always going to be forever evolving, because you are forever evolving. So I love that so many people already have that perspective. That's brilliant. That's brilliant to me. Let's see. My problem is I know how I want to come across and what I think I'm coming across as, but am I really coming across that way? Ooh, Rachel, man, such a good freaking question. And that is such a common question, right? And so really, here's the best way that I think we can take a look at that. First and foremost, let's try to read our posts as objectively as we can, right? But let's be honest, we can't always do that. I can't tell you how many times, not necessarily with my post, but like if I'm sending an email, or if it's not a woohoo, like pleasant email, I've had to have somebody else get in there and read it, because I want to make sure that I'm standing my ground and making my point, but I'm trying not to be that much of a bitch, and I don't want to be passive aggressive. And so I had to get other people in there. And here's the beautiful part about it. Get some other people to take a look at your content and ask them what their initial feelings were when reading it. Don't ask them if they liked it, because that's a completely different scenario. We don't care if they liked it. We want them to, but we don't care. We care what they felt. So start sending people some things and go, what does this make you feel? Or how did this make you feel? I know that sounds really touchy-feely, but do that. And for that matter, you guys, you're all in this group. You can do that in this group. Hey, I'm honing in on my brand voice. I've got a couple sample posts. I would love to know how you felt when you read each of these. And the beautiful part about that, and I want you to know, if you can't do that on your own, that doesn't mean you suck. That means you're human, because we think the way we think, and we only have the capacity to try to think as others so much. That's why I ask other people to check my stuff, because there are things that I think sound perfectly fine, and someone could go, I took that differently. So and it's super common. Lisa, I'm definitely an expert. You definitely are, and I'm so glad you didn't argue with me on that. Let's see, Katrina said, I empower women to unfuck their relationship with themselves and their loved ones so they can live a life full of passion and radical self-expression. Man, that is a powerful statement right there. And I don't know about you guys, but reading, like, that gets me jazzed up. Yeah, I'm like, yes, that's awesome. I love that. Penny said, I help high ticket entrepreneurs fill their programs with magical clients who are actually ready to do the work without sleazy sales tactics or discounts by using empathetic copywriting and sales strategies. Boom. That also lets me know, like, I love that she includes that are ready to do the work, because that's so crucial. Because how many times do we know someone that we see all this amazing potential and they may say that they want to achieve this and that, but they don't even fucking do the work, right? Lisa said, I help veterans, first responders, and others get their Social Security disability benefits. Super crystal clear. That's exactly what she does, and she's bomb at it. And I love that she said, I want people to be seen, heard, and cared for. And I can guarantee you that that shows up in Lisa's content, because that's just who she is as a human, right? That she just embodies that. Rachel said, I help people in their skincare journey feel confident and happy in their own skin. I love that. And I love that it's not just I sell skincare products or I promote skincare products that are good for you, right? It's so much deeper than that. What we do is always so much deeper. Penny said, magical, brilliant, and enthusiastic for her words. Girl, you got that nailed. That's on point. So, well done. And Lisa, let's see, purpose to educate, encourage, serve them, and give them a strategy and confidence. Again, Lisa, just knowing you, and I've worked with Lisa one-on-one as a client, I guarantee you that you're doing that. And I love, Kaylee said this so much better than I tried to say it for herself. She said, I help people feel authentically themselves and bring out the beauty that's already there. Like, who doesn't want that, right? And her 3 words are authenticity, empathy, and empowerment. Dead on, right? Katrina said, mystical, empowered, and safe. I love that. I love that. And I want you guys to notice, like, if you've already read them or as I'm reading them, like, these evoke actual visceral feelings. Yeah? And for each of us, it might be, like, for me, the word safe really speaks to me. But for you, it might be empowered or mystical. But that speaks to me. I'm like, ooh, feel safe. I like that. Lisa, you are not judgmental. You can stop that right now. Increase self-worth in women. Stand in who they are. Yes, Katrina, we are on the same page with that so much. And Penny, you are a freaking word wizard. I have to give props to Penny, because Penny is the whole, like, brilliance behind entrepreneurs. Straight up her. I would love to tell you that I came up with that. I didn't. She did. And thank you, Lisa, for the compliment. She said I was great at words. I appreciate that. I love words. I'm a logophile, hardcore. And I know we're catching up on comments, and that's me, but I'm almost done. I just want to get through these because it's exciting for me, right? And I hope it's exciting for you. So she said that her superpower is reading energy, highly intuitive, empathy, redirecting. Ooh, so freaking powerful. I'm right there with you on the empathy. I'm actually a highly intuitive empath, so I feel you on that. Rachel said she's outgoing and she loves meeting and helping people. Girl, that's such a like a significant talent, because I think that the majority of us, everyone that's here, we probably all love to serve people, but I bet you that I'm not the only one in here that says I love meeting new people. No, I don't. Let's just be honest. I don't always love meeting new people. Right? I do love serving, and I do love connecting with dope souls, and I do love all of that. But the whole, like, meeting people, sometimes not. Like, it just depends. So I love that that's one of your strengths. Rachel, we've been blowing up your comments. I know. Monday, right? And in the words of Penny, not that I think it's something that's going wrong, but just as a keynote, by the way, anytime you do anything, launch anything, something will go wrong, right? Like ignoring 20 minutes worth of comments. Lori said I'm such an introvert, but I love to serve. Lori, there is a really amazing group then this is actually for anybody. This has nothing to do with me, but I'm going to pop this in here real quick because I have found it to be so amazing. There is a group by someone that I met not too long ago and definitely becoming friends, and I love the work that she's doing. Her name is Emma Louise, and she has I'm doing two things at once. She has a group called the Ambitious Introvert Network, and that is her goal. That is what she does. That's her purpose, right? And I just popped the link in there for that. And what I love is I just love how she serves other introverts, and I love that she serves us in a way because I'm an introvert as well, right? Introvert does not mean shy or we don't like people or we don't talk to people. For me, it comes in that like once I've peopled very much, I know I need space. And a lot of that's coming from me being an empath too, right? Like I just need me time. Like, shh, go away. So anyway, if anyone wants to check that group out, Emma's awesome. And if you identify as an introvert or think you might, I'm sure you'll find some really great resources in there. Okay, so I've caught up on comments. Yes. All right. Awesome. Okay, so we've talked about how you want your people to feel. We've talked about starting to identify those 3 words that you really want to represent. Sorry, I lost my word. Represent your brand. And so here's a couple other things that I think you can really do that makes this actually, for me, what makes it super fun and exciting, because I'm a word nerd. But I think it also can bring some really, really crystal clear clarity. When you start getting some of those words that you want people to feel or that you want to use with your brand, get into the dictionary. Dictionary.com, Merriam-Webster. Why am I telling you that? I'm telling you that because, and I'm going to pull up a definition for myself. I'm telling you that because what we find sometimes is there is a very specific like definition that really hits home with us. And we're like, yes, please. And then sometimes we find out that what we thought, we get into those definitions and we're like, this isn't quite how I actually would identify with. One of those words for me is the word savage, and just being straight up savage, right? Savage has a negative connotation, particularly with people, and that's cool. But here's what I love about it. And for anyone who doesn't know, I'm obsessed with animals. So this is like perfect in multiple ways. So one of the definitions actually for savage is when describing an animal, it means that it is true to its wild, ferocious nature and it is untamed. That to me is fucking beautiful. And that is such a huge part of what I want to embody and what I want to empower others to be. Your wild and ferocious nature. How you were created to be. Right? So take a look at the dictionary. Go, oh, you know what? That's really not what I wanted. Or, that is exactly what I wanted. Right? And then you can also thesaurus it up. Yeah? If you think of one word, it doesn't quite hit the mark, go to thesaurus.com. It can be, if you're a word person, that can be a black hole, so you need to prepare. You might want to set a time limit on yourself because you'll just keep going because you'll click on this word and then the next word. And so it's careful. Be careful. And then the last kind of like specific word tip that I will give you, I really, really, really don't ever encourage this. But this is one of the few times that I'm going to encourage you to look at what you don't want. And the reason I don't encourage that's a whole mindset, and that's not just a woo-woo thing, it's a scientific thing. Yeah, you need to focus on what you do want, not what you don't want. But in this instance, it's okay, and I approved it. Think about what you don't want to be. What do you not want your clients to feel? And then go look at the antonym for that. I think that right there, what I just said, that's going to be massively helpful for somebody because somebody is going to get stuck or already is stuck. And looking at it from the I don't want to be this perspective, that's going to be a breakthrough for you. And so Rachel said that I had trouble incorporating my voice and personality with your business since you sell physical products. I can get that. I think maybe it's more looking into, because you sell physical products, right? And so when it comes to physical products, very often, so for me as a service and what I do, right, as a business and brand strategy coach, my market is based on like my personality, my brand, and what I do because I sell a service. Yeah. With you, Rachel, how I would choose to look at that, or how I look at it now, is you've got the market as far as who are these products right for and best for. Yeah. But then you've got a market within that market. And that is where your personality and your brand and your authenticity gets to shine. Because let's say, just to keep things simple, let's say there's a product for people with dry skin. Okay, that's probably like half the earth. Yeah. But if you're really passionate about, and I'm just using this as an example, about helping women or moms, oh, you create them from scratch. That's so fucking cool. That's even cooler. That you create them from scratch. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is such a huge. Oh girl, we're gonna talk about this. She has a coaching call with me booked. We're gonna talk about this. Yeah, you got an amazing opportunity here because you create them from scratch. You really, here's the thing. You've got the benefits of the product, like the physical benefits, but you're utilizing your brand and your authenticity to connect with your tribe and your people, right? Because you're building a community. And people are so much more like we buy from people that we know, like, and trust. Yeah. And so even if you tell me, like, think about any product, right? There's a million products out there, and we typically buy from the ones that either, like, if it's local, we know who made it, we know who did it, so we trust that person, so we purchase that product. There are probably other products, and this is just like a gut check for everybody, right? There are other people that can do what I do. There are other skincare products that can accomplish what yours do. But you are uniquely positioned to serve your people in a way that no one else is. And your people, right? Those are the people that you attract, again, with that authenticity. And Rachel, so here's the deal. Sorry, I'm going to jump in. So she talks about her skincare. This is great for everybody. She talks about skincare issues and how her soaps helped me, but you struggle with that being about you versus your client. Cool. Here's a really easy way to reframe that stuff. Because in reality, what we discover is that almost every single one of us, our ideal client is a version of ourselves. Probably just a few steps back, right? That's normal. So the way that we can help to get around it being me, which I totally love that you even think about that. Talk about the problems that you've had, but talk about them. You can talk about them in question format. Have you ever? Is this familiar? Are you struggling with? Do you have? That kind of stuff. Or, hey, you over there with the dry skin, right? Things like that. And you talk about it, and you get to talk about it in detail because you've struggled with it. And you get to say, how amazing would it be if you had a soap that did this, this, and this? And that's when you get to pull in the validity of, how do I know it does all this? Because I was there too. I had it too. Right? So it becomes all about them and identifying with those specific pain points and the problems they want solved. And then you get to bring in that, hey, like, I don't just get you, like, I legit get you because I've been you. Right? So that's a great way to reframe that. Yeah, good. I'm glad you like that question format. Cool. All right. So we should have about 15 minutes left. So one other thing that I want you guys to just make a note of, to think about, when you're getting into your brand voice, and particularly when you're writing your content, it's really important that we know who we're talking to, because we want to make sure that we've got the brand voice, right? And we know how we want to sound, how we want our people to feel, but there's still a word choice to be made there. And kind of, to use an extreme example, we want to make sure that we're using language that our target audience identifies with. So, like, for example, if you're marketing to boomers, right? Maybe don't use the latest, newest, and greatest slang. Now, when I was a teacher, I was totally up and up. Not no more. People say stuff and I'm like, what? What does that mean? Yeah? If you're marketing to millennials, use that slang all day long, right? Because we want our language to not just resonate with them, but it needs to sound like them. Where they're like, I just said that the other day. I was just thinking that. Yeah. So know who they are, so that you can help make sure that you're not, because like for especially, especially if your target is a different particular like age range, generation, cultural belief, whatever, if they differ from you in that way, or if they might, then keep that in mind. Because we tend to talk to people the way that we want to be talked to, and that's not always the exact same. Because again, remember this too, your ideal audience is very likely you a few stages ago. And so, how you needed to be talked to then when you were experiencing that problem is probably a little bit different than how you would like to be talked to now when you're already aware of it and you've gone through it. So, those are good things to keep in mind. And then, my last little tip for, oh, girl, we can talk about that. How do you market to both with or without slang? You use it and you don't use it. Right? Or you can even be funny about it. You can use a slang word and be, and in the parentheses be like, that's this, this, and this in case you didn't know. Right? So you can always have fun with it. And actually, this is my next point is a little bit of an answer to that question. Okay, so Kaylee, if you want to relate to boomers, Gen Z, millennials, Gen X, yeah, cool. Be you. I have currently, and my current clients, I have clients that are married and with children and in their 50s or 60s. I have clients that are single in their mid 20s and everywhere in between. Right? But to my next point, I write like I talk. You should too. You should write like you talk. The only exception to that I have found is if you happen to be marketing to a specific client that is in the corporate world, right? That's different. It just is. Because corporate world has to worry about HR and we don't. So if I'm ever, there have been actually a couple occasions where if I'm doing a teaching or a training or something and it's for an organization, then yes, I don't talk exactly the way I do when I'm at home. I put on just a little bit of a professional filter. It's still me. It's still authentic. I'm probably not going to drop any F-bombs, and I probably won't slip into my slang quite as much. Yeah. Rachel, and here's the thing, my clients are all over the board too. So the key thing with that too is, you guys, if your clients are demographically all over the board, look at the psychographics, because that's what you're going to have in common, right? What are their hopes, their fears, their dreams? You can also specifically look at what problem you're solving. What transformation are you providing? What are their specific pain points? Because that's the commonality. Yeah, so the demographics can be all over the fucking place. That's fine. Excuse me. And the other thing that I will tell you too is, if there's certain slang that you use, like I say dope all the time, which, I mean, most people know what that is, but believe it or not everybody, and I don't really understand that. If that's you, I'm sorry, but I'm like, that's dope. What? Also, here's a good one. Unless they're really steeped into pop culture, and I think my high school kids for this, I say bruh all the time. I'm like, bruh, y'all, the boomers aren't going to relate to that unless they're really steeped in pop culture. But here's the thing, I still say it because that's just one tiny piece of my content. And more than likely, that may resonate with someone who gets it because they'll hear my voice, right? But it's not, somebody who doesn't get it is not going to shut down my content and block me because I said a word they don't understand. They're going to be like, if, for that matter, I might be helping them. They might learn a new word. Okay? But they'll begin to associate that with me because I'm consistent. And they'll know that they see that with me. And when they see it, they'll be like, oh, that's Stephanie. Yeah. So, and Rachel, I'm so glad that you're getting mind fucked in a good way. And that you're seeing things from new angles. That makes me really happy. Thank you, Lisa. Lisa again is one of my clients, and she said she's way older than me, and she understands me just fine. Lisa is also though, uh, she's she may be older than me in numbers, but she's a cool ass chick, and she's hip and she's with it. So a little bit of an anomaly there. All right, cool. So we have talked all things, well, not all things, but brand voice and authenticity. We've dipped into all that. And first thing I want to ask really quickly is because I'm going to give you guys some homework, right? Because this is a workshop / challenge. And I think that I don't think I know, we get results by taking action and we learn by doing. And so we're going to have some homework, and I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. But before I give you guys homework, does anybody have any super quick questions? Anything that I said that you're like, nope, I need some clarification there? And I'll give you just a second to pop those in the chat. While you're popping those in the chat, there's one other thing, and this is something that you have to promise me that you will only write this down if you have the ability to not focus on it right now. And you're like, why are you giving it to me? Because it's still really good to know. As you continue to develop your brand voice, what you eventually want to start thinking about and getting into is knowing your tones. Brand voice can be authentic, but most likely we're going to have slightly different tones based on who we're talking to. And what I mean by that is you're probably going to have, like me, I have a totally different tone when I'm here, when I'm live, and when I'm with you, and it's just real me, than I do when, not totally different, but slightly different tone than when I'm speaking, I'm guesting on a podcast, when I'm doing a professional training, when I'm posting content, and then even when I'm like, if I'm having to answer a customer concern or if somebody has a question or a complaint, the tones are going to differ just slightly. And so knowing that, and the reason that becomes important is because it's natural for you, but as all of you continue to blow up and get bigger and bigger and bigger in scale, you're going to be hiring people and bringing people on. And so we want to be able to communicate to our teams. You know, this is my brand voice. When we talk to these people, we really highlight this part of it. And these people, we do, you know, so it really helps you communicate and scale. Okay, so I don't see any questions, so I'm gonna give you homework, and then I'm going to tell you about something super exciting. Okay, here is your homework, and I will make a post about this, and I will post these like questions, instructions again, but I'm just gonna give it to you anyway. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna create a post, and you're gonna do 4 things in that post. Okay. First thing is you're going to give us a little snapshot of who you are in your brand. If you already have your I help statement, give us that, right? Say, hey, I'm so-and-so. I help this person do this. Yeah. But give us that little snapshot of what you do. And then you're going to answer 3 questions. Okay. Question 1, how do you want people to feel when they engage with your brand? These are all questions that we've talked about, right? 2, what do other similar brands sound like? And how do you want to differentiate? And then number 3 is going to be, what do you not want to sound like? So that's your homework. That's your post. That's part 1 of your homework. That's your post. Okay? Then the other piece of your homework is that I want you to go and comment on 2 other people's. And after you read what they've written, I want you to comment with what 3 words come up for you. You've read and you've said, okay, you say you do this, this, and this. You're this. Okay, these are the words that come up for me. These are the words that I think of. And I want you to do that for 2 other people. This right here, guys, this is going to give you some insane insight, right? Are you on the right track? Are you maybe needing to tweak something, change the messaging? But it's going to give you just some amazing insight to see what people come up with. And again, I can almost promise you're going to see an emerging trend. And I will comment on every single post. I will give you the 3 words that come up for me. So yeah, that's your homework, right? To make your post, and then I'll comment on 2 others. This is going to be really helpful. And so, if you want to comment on more than 2, by all means, please do it, right? But this is going to be really helpful for you guys. And so definitely, I'm excited to see you guys engage with that and help each other out. So with that, the last thing that I'm going to end with is I have mentioned this. If you've been in my group, you know this, but I've been talking about for about the last couple weeks about this really exciting thing And it starts today, and it's not just this. And I am I can't believe I didn't like spill the beans earlier because I can't. There are no words. I'm a logophile, and there are no words for how fucking excited I am about this. I am launching a mastermind. What? What? Yeah. So I am launching a 12-week mastermind. And I will go crazy into detail. If you're interested, we can hop on a call. I'll talk to you about that in a minute. But basically, what this is looking like is this is a 12-week mastermind. Um, and it is all about what I love to do, which what I love to do is helping magical as fuck entrepreneurs get the fuck unstuck and make more money in their businesses without sacrificing who you were born to be, what you were born to do, and how you were born to serve, right? So with this mastermind and masterminds, I'm just so excited about this because there's so much value in training and courses and one-on-one coaching. But masterminds is a whole different level, right? It's just when you bring in the community and you bring in the accountability that other people have, and you bring in that you're not just hearing from me, you're hearing from other people, and they have brilliance and wisdom to share it too. Just the learning curve and the results that I've seen in my beta mastermind versus my one-on-one clients and how quickly some people got there has just been outstanding, right? And that's why I'm so excited about it. So, if you decide you want to invest in this mastermind and you commit to putting in the work, I promise you that you will 100% book more of your Holy Grail clients. That means more money. More money means more freedom. And that's what we all want. I think ultimately we want to serve people. Sure, yes, of course, absolutely. But we want more money, we want more freedom. Yeah? Even if you tried a million other solutions that didn't work. Even if you've previously invested in coaching and branding and other masterminds. Even if you have no freaking idea how to tap into that radical authenticity. If you show up and do the work, you absolutely will 100% get results. I promise. Yeah. And I want you to imagine just for a second, right? If you want to close your eyes, close your eyes. But I want you to imagine what it will feel like, because this is happening. What will it feel like to be fully booked out with nothing but your Holy Grail clients? What will it feel like to know that you are working less but making more? And what will it feel like to know that you've done all this because you showed up as you? No tempering, no dumbing down, no worrying about fitting in. Just real, raw, and unapologetically yourself. And because of that, people are dying to pay you. What does that feel like? Feels pretty fucking rad, doesn't it? Now, you can, of course, try everyone else's programs and continue to do those things and take this course and implement this 10x your income strategy. But the only question I would have for you is, how's that working? It's not that we're not going to talk about strategy. We are. But I believe that one size fits all is a fucking lie. Yeah? So that's not what we're going to focus on. How would your life change if you booked 1 to 3 new clients in the next 2 to 3 months? What if you booked 5? What if you booked 10? Like, sit in that for a minute and think about that. Yeah? So here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for get shit done people. I'm looking for people who are ready to get the fuck unstuck, and you are ready to put in the work. You know you can get unstuck. You are an action taker. You are ready to step up and be straight up savage in who you are. Yeah? Here's the thing though. I only have 15 spots. And once they're gone, they're gone. That's where I'm capping out the mastermind. And you won't be able to enroll again for another 4 months. I'm going to unleash this program 3 times a year. That's it. Okay? If you know you're ready for results, if you know this is for you, then I want you to schedule a 30-minute mastermind chat with me so we can chat about that and chat about how amazing this can be for your life. Yeah? But if you're going to do that, do it now. Because if you don't grab your spot, someone else, I promise you, will. Because remember, action takers get results. Yeah. So ultimately, this mastermind is going to be much, much more expensive in price because it's worth that. It's worth, y'all, I wish that I could. So, and I will. As the days go on, I will continue to talk to you guys about results that my clients are seeing because they're just epic. And the investments that my clients have made it's paid itself 10 times over. Yeah. So it will ultimately be a much higher price, but in honor of Black Friday and for this round only and available for those first 15 people only, it is just $5K. Yeah. So I'm going to pop the link in here for you guys to book your mastermind chat with me. And I will throw it in the group as well. So get in here, book your chat. Let's talk to you about this epic mastermind and what it can do for you. And then get to work on your homework. I cannot wait to see what you guys come up with. Don't forget tomorrow. Oh, thank you so much, Penny. Penny put the link up there to book that call. Thank you. Don't forget that we will be here same time, same place tomorrow and Wednesday to continue talking about our brand voice and authenticity. I can't wait to see your posts and your homework, and I cannot wait to freaking chat with you guys on these calls. Thank you so much for being here, and we will talk very soon. Later, everybody.